So this is Brad Bishop. I've known him for several years now. Most of the ways I've known him is his alter ego, but he his partner Jana was and Brad came and was the photographer for the Spirit of Spokane 30th anniversary. And they were the videographer and the photographers for the East Side Acapella, which ended up being the last thing almost any of us did live in Spokane in 2020. It was in February. So they are good friends, and Brad and his business partner Ryan started a YouTube channel called Psychor in 2016, and since then they have over 2 million views of their videos, and that's pretty impressive. And I thought, well, we don't have to have a barbershopper come in and talk to us about YouTube. Let's have somebody who's done it and has been successful. And so he's going to just sort of give some background on what has worked for him and some ideas on and the benefits of going from 0 to 100 and then on for your subscribers. And then he'll answer any questions that we have. I'm going to put him on speaker view, but you all may want to just change it on your own so that way you can see him better.
Let's see, there we go. Well, hello and good morning. Hope everyone had a good meeting. I don't, we'll see. But let me get my screen set for you. I made a small, what kind of slideshow to follow.
I'm going to also make you co-host, Brad, so if you want to share your screen for anything.
Perfect. Let's go like this. Oh, that's probably everything, isn't it? Oh, it is. All right. Well, a little bit about me. As you just heard, I do have an interesting, entertaining background. I through kind of college and going back to school and everything, I was a performer of the non-singing variety. So I had the opportunity to perform up at Eastern and Spokane Falls and with the Indians and a few other schools, and even with Avista for a while, being all sorts of animals, creatures, costume wearing, skit developing, promoting, dancing, fooling around, and just general tomfoolery around Washington. that includes things like snowboarding, jumping out of press boxes, and getting people riled up at all sorts of sporting events, and even skydiving at one point, believe it or not, ironically as a bird. So that was a fun experience to actually fly with a beak. So that's kind of in short, how I got my entertaining and explored my kind of goofy nature, if you will, into more of a structured and professional capacity. But this was kind of a foundational piece for what got my interest and kind of developed key pieces of Psychor, because while I was engaging in all of these kind of furry adventures, if you will, I was going to school for this. So I am a board certified behavior analyst, which means I am a scientist that helps develop and analyze problem behaviors currently for kiddos with special needs. So I am chief of staff for Lilac City Behavioral now, after being in the field for 10 years. And I help drive programs to get kids to communicate, to start talking, learn how to tie their shoes, the alphabet, name the skill: toilet training, going to bed, tolerating waiting, tolerating their siblings, not throwing their food at mom when they don't like the mashed potatoes on their plate. All of those things I help design, monitor, and move programs forward. And generally love the position. I love the field. It's a great, it's a great gig. It's somehow, I was blessed with the opportunity to find a position where I could still be the furry Muppet that I've been for a long time. But now I get paid for it because I can be goofy, but as long as I monitor actual programming and write some analytic reports and things, then we're all happy and I get paid for it. So that's pretty awesome. But that is, we've merged now two things together. We have master of puppets, if you will, and now a scientist. And that brings me to this amazing piece, which is Psychor. As you just heard, this has been going for about 5 years. I think we have roughly 900 videos somewhere in there. I know that seems like a lot, and I'll get into why that number is so high in a minute. But Psychor is a result of Ryan and myself meeting in the classroom. He was actually, at the time, one of my undergraduate to graduate professors up at Eastern. And so I met him in what was behavior modification and human learning class, which got me started on, I went from a counseling field and took this kind of trajectory towards behavior analysis because of his class and his work and his kind of style of teaching. Needless to say, he makes some form of hair joke in the middle of class, and I reply without raising my hand, well, I'm not going to take hair advice from a bald man. So right there, a friendship was born, both very sarcastic and caring individuals. But what happened is I had several classes with him, and then in a graduate class or program, I was looking for some additional credits. And what I said was, behavior analysis is really cool, but being that it's a scientific field, it is exceedingly boring. We're talking APA style format writing. Everything's in black and white. For all of us that miss picture books, this is the antithesis of just dry, make your eyes bleed kind of reading. And so it was interesting because at the time I was really heavy into the mascot work. And then I had going to school for this APA format. And it's like, put them together. Let's bring some life into actually what's going on in the field and what these terms mean and what the principles of a behavior analysis means and all of that. So I made some videos for class, if you will, or for credit way back in the day. This would be 11 years ago now. They're buried somewhere else on the other end of YouTube, like an Easter egg. They're not that important. But that whole idea spawned Psychor, which is pushing the field of applied behavior analysis forward. The idea being we make what's called an open educational resource, which is the issue. Let me back up. The mission is this information needs to be accessible to the public. It's one of the most powerful tools that science has developed or discovered for moving people forward, helping people. And it's kind of stuck behind a paywall between publishers and schools and all these stuff. So you get students that are trying to get resources, and it's just ungodly expensive. So because of all the licensing and the publishing and the contracts and all the business stuff that's kind of encroached on higher education. So an open educational resource is literally a free education piece. It's literally, here is a video. You can do whatever you want with it. You can edit it, you can chop it up, you can share it freely, and there's no reprimands or kind of concerns or contractual obligations or issues as a result. It is literally a open source content piece. So our mission was to make not just OERs for the field of applied behavior analysis, but they had to be humorous, but accurate and engaging. So we were trying to bring life and entertainment into that, into the field with free stuff. So to give you an example of that, I picked 3 small little clips. We won't play all of them or all the way through. Whoop, let me back up to kind of share. And I believe I clicked this right for the sound to come through.
Response generalization.
Okay.
Which is...
Can everyone hear that? Yes, no?
Yes, I could hear
Response
it.
generalization, which is essentially untrained responses that are functionally equivalent to trained target behavior. So an example would be...
Oh, see, he prompted me. That was a bad joke. Sorry. Brad, sing!
Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb.
That's the one I taught him how to sing. Now let's see if he has some response generalization. Brad, sing!
Baby shark, do 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 do. Baby shark, do 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 do. Baby shark, do 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 do. Baby shark.
Brad, sing.
Old MacDonald had a farm.
Pause, Punisher. I don't want any more children's songs. Brad, sing.
I get no kick from champagne. Mere alcohol doesn't thrill me at all. But I get a kick out of YouTube.
That's it. We're done.
So you see, we have a lot of fun, but the goal of Psychor there for a while, that is one of the reasons we have so many videos, is we tried to do the entire field's vocabulary in 1 minute with both a definition and an example. So that included both, and it's really quick, so it's kind of designed for people that are studying, so they're really fluent with terminology, but they get literally clarification on the definition and the actual behavioral example of what that term is, all in 1 minute chunks. And it was actually really challenging, but as a result, that was probably a good portion of our 700 videos, because there's a lot of words you have to study. So we just went through the entire book, multiple books, put all the vocabulary words together, and then made pieces like that. Another example here, just because I thought it was funny. You all obviously remember the fun COVID we had, the fun event. And to anyone that's worked in the medical field, we had to move to telehealth. And so YouTube has a fun way of bringing people together. It's the weirdest feeling of we're all isolated, but we're not. Because although you're watching the particular screen at home, you can have thousands of other people watching the same thing. And so we ended up writing a particular music video around a old Green Day song, believe it or not, related to telehealth as a result of COVID, because everyone at the time in the medical field, all of the therapists, the social workers, myself included, for a lot of our families, back in March, we had to make that move for obvious reasons, but to share in that community experience and frustration, we wrote a little ditty, and I'll play a minute of it, but it turned out kind of like this.
I'm having troubles trying to sleep. Direct service closing down. Skills drop like flies, and still I tries. This fucking COVID-19. Telehealth, here we go. My eyes feel like they're gonna bleed. Watching behaviors on all screens. My mouth is dry for every call. Ethics say we do no harm. Telehealth, here we go.
Anyway, so you kind of get the idea. It was a fun way of poking fun at the entire situation, but I was able to share that and bridge the gap between even several other communities of health professionals that could all relate to the frustrations around having to be providing our services from person and now isolated in your home. And you're all probably wondering, where'd the rat come from? That is Psychor's mascot, obviously Nicodemus, for those that are familiar with the Rats of Nim. Kind of a funny inside joke. Yeah, whoop. I had one more for you, especially around community, because I think that's one thing that YouTube excels at is if you have an interest, you will find your people. And one thing that happened, so we have, just to summarize what I'm thinking, we have our general mission statement with the OERs and these particular vocabulary videos and other instructional videos along the way. We are able to relate to the community with expressing how we feel about current situations in the world and what's going on through that telehealth video. And finally, what was really, really cool is, as a result of this channel and what we do and what we're kind of known for, we had the opportunity to collaborate with other behavior analysts all the way in New York. So we literally had a dean, and then several other individuals from the New York State Applied Behavior Analysis chapter that reached out, and they wanted to make a video around disseminating what applied behavior analysis is, and we collaborated on it. And I love this piece because it shows the amazingness of a large group of people coming together, all digitally. These people are obviously on the other side of the country, and I've never actually physically met them, but through YouTube and Zoom calls and all these pieces, we were able to produce this particular video for Applied Behavior Analysis Day. So it kind of looks like this.
You may have heard of behavior analysis. But what is it?
Well, it's a natural science that is both experimental and applied. But what does that mean?
It means we use the scientific method to determine why people behave the way they do. All good things require people doing something, more, less, or differently. When people have a better understanding of behavior principles, they improve the quality of lives, theirs and others.
Now you might be asking yourself, who does behavior analysis?
Technically, we all conform to the principles of behavior analysis, even if we don't know we are doing it. But to really get the best outcomes, you want someone who is specially trained. We call these professionals behavior analysts.
Behavior analysts work anywhere behavior is happening, and they help many different types of people across many different areas.
For example, they might work in healthcare, animal care, schools, businesses, government, and sports, to name a few.
And remember, behavior is anything a person or animal does.
Yep. And how did it all start? Well, in the 1930s, Dr. B.F. Skinner discovered the principles of what he called operant behavior.
Skinner found that this is learned behavior and is developed and maintained by the consequences of actions. By the 1950s, the profession of helping people was born and called applied behavior analysis.
From there, the field expanded into new journals and applications and associations.
Applied behavior analysis is now recognized across the world as a profession that has produced positive outcomes in all kinds of settings.
In recognition of this amazing science and its founder, B.F. Skinner, his birthday, March 20th, was selected as World Behavior Analysis Day.
Please join us.
Please join us.
Please join us.
Please join us.
Please join us in celebrating World Behavior Analysis Day in a way that reflects
who you are and what you do. Go to behavioranalysisday.com for more information.
I love behavior analysis.
Arab behavior analysis taranome. Ahụrụ behavior analysis n'anya.
Na so behavior analysis so safer. Ai!
Mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ ìmọ̀ tí ń ṣe àgbéyẹ̀wò àti àtúpalẹ̀ ìṣesí àti ìhùwàsí.
Jag älskar beteendeanalys.
Yo amo el análisis de comportamiento.
Ek is dol oor gedragsanalise.
Eu amo análise do comportamento.
Mo fẹ́ràn ìgbékalẹ̀ ìhùwàsí.
Eu amo análise do comportamento.
Io amo l'analisi del comportamento.
أنا بحب علم تحليل السلوك التطبيقي.
I love behavior analysis.
So, all right. Right. So that was kind of a really cool moment. Again, it was the opportunity to have everyone in the field collaborate digitally, and as you can see, internationally, because that's how big YouTube is. And I think that's kind of a natural segue into the next piece. So here's some screenshots of our stats that I took just for reference. You can see these lovely little squiggly lines. The long story short, the best part is all these little graphs have wonderful increasing trends over the past 5 years into what is now currently the state of the channel. So we're at 13,637 subscribers with a lifetime watch time of hours of 50,000, which I think Ryan and I were doing the math the other day. That's if someone watched 5 years of content straight. So that's kind of crazy to think about. And then it equated to 1,870,000 views. What's really cool is I bet you can all identify this really high spike, just that straight line. That was as a result of that behavior analysis day event of the video we just watched. So enough about me. Let's get into the meat of why YouTube is amazing, right? Because that's because it's time. Enough about me. So about YouTube, I think the important thing to think about is it's the second most popular media platform with 2.3 billion users worldwide. Wow. Think about that number. That's everywhere. Fun things is when you have your channel and you get into some of the analytics, you can check views by country and see how many people have viewed your channel from, name it, anywhere in the world. So YouTube is access to the world. It is international. The other thing is people search for content a lot like they Google something on YouTube. And as a result, it's the second most popular search engine, which is important to think about. So if they're looking up a song, they're looking up singers, they're looking up groups, they're looking up anything related, it's the second place they'll go to look for it on the internet. So it's a fantastic way to be found. We do that with our terms all the time. You can look up reinforcement, for instance, on Google or in YouTube, and Psychor will pop up. But people use it as a resource to find things. Another fun fact, I found 1 billion hours of video is watched every day as a result. That's intense. I can't even fathom how much video that actually is, but it's an impressive number. What's another one? The other thing was on the YouTube platform, everyone is watching primarily on their phones. So you have access to everybody all the time, and to all the younger people and all the older people. Everyone's being bridged together over their phone, and YouTube is kind of focused and being presented primarily on mobile devices. And that would include things like iPads. So I found it interesting. People were reporting that they find new services and products on YouTube as a result. There are ways to share commercials of your stuff if you would like. You can purchase into advertisement campaigns under YouTube to be the reason that monetization exists. Or people just search straight up for the video content that you have to promote your services and things. So monetization is a fun, tricky thing. They've changed it since we started, which not gonna lie, it sucked for a minute because we were just getting started and we were doing so well, and this was like a year and a half, 2 years in, somewhere in there. But they changed their rules around what qualified monetization for YouTube creators a little bit. But what that was is at the time it was just 1,000 subscribers. That initial change was it required 4,000 watch hours in the past year as a result, which we were really close to achieving. I think our monetization got shut down for 6 months or so until we actually achieved that goal. And now we've been able to maintain it since then. with viewerships and whatnot. But that was kind of a key piece. Is it's not just people subscribing; it's you have to be producing content for people to be watching the channel to achieve that. And then just to back up to monetization itself, it's an interesting concept, but it's essentially a auction per video. So you have a combination of an average pay per view that's mixed with, that has an algorithm that mixes the level of engagement on your channel, how long they actually watched, and then quality, meaning did they watch all the way through? Did they actually click any of the ads that were presented? All of those kind of things dictate the little amounts you can make through monetization. Yeah, so that's a little bit about YouTube and kind of setting up the foundational pieces. So you're probably asking yourself, why? Why should people be on YouTube? And I posted everybody up on here because I think this is a good kind of representative example of why. Some of my favorite things include the top left there, Lindsay Sterling. She was told at a talent agency, this just a little backstory, she's an amazing violin player, and now she tours the country playing and has a very fun style and all this stuff. But not only does she play the violin, but she dances at the same time while she's doing it. And she was told at a particular talent agency that no one wants to see you do that. Your violin playing is exquisite, but you'll never make it as a dancing violinist. And what I love about that is you had someone that couldn't see what she was passionate about and what other people found interesting. And traditionally, that could be the end, right? That could shut down a career, that could change. She could stop dancing to focus on violin playing and to move on. But because of YouTube, she started violin playing and dancing, right? And she found her people through the community online. So the guy that said no one wants to see you do that, she developed a following as a result, right? And people just loved her, loved the dancing, loves the music. She's got an amazing team she's put together that they put videos together, and they've since then she's made it all the way to Dancing with the Stars because of YouTube. She's had enough of a following that that lifted her up into the mainstream, and now she's like I said, been on Dancing with the Stars, and now she tours the country dancing and playing. So it's impressive with the power behind YouTube. The other one I thought that was really fun is Straight No Chaser, which is I want to say it's Harvard. Is it?
They were just here. They were just here in concert 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. See, that's so cool.
State University.
There you go. Thank you. I'm like, I don't remember.
Wonderful.
They're absolutely brilliant. The Christmas Can has to be now one of my favorite all-time Christmas songs. But they had several YouTube videos explode, which resulted in essentially albums and now their current tours, and they've been all over the place. The wonderful lady in the bee with the bees there, Miss Thompson, Erica Thompson, I believe. I'm talking about her because it's the same idea. She's just a private bee farmer, and she helps move bees out of people's homes and areas and transports them as she's dressed right there. She has to be one of the most soothing and calming individuals in the world, but she's passionate about bees, about maintaining bees, about all these pieces. And she literally shows up to the house, has a replacement bee nest, and she moves them all the way to the queen and gets everybody into a safe location without just spraying them. So she's saving bees, but she has a following. And I think she had some videos up in the hundreds of thousands of views. And as a result of YouTube, ended up being on the Ellen Show again, right? You get back into that kind of powerful mainstream because you have enough people that find you, find the interest, find your why, so to speak, and then they carry your name up. Another great example of a YouTuber is Christina Kuzmic. I don't know if anyone's familiar, but she started a YouTube channel and focused on kind of initially the busy working mom trying to do the best for the kids kind of thing. So here's some tips and tricks on fast recipes for healthy snacks and preparation tricks to make things faster just across the board, because you're always out of time. But she's got a great sense of humor, a great perspective, and great philosophy. And she's kind of not taken changed a little. It's less cutesy tips and tricks, and now she's focused very much so on family health. And as her channel continues to develop, she's now written a book, and she's had several amazing talks and invites people of like minds together to talk about just family unit and structure. So kind of that kind of self-help category. She has a son that was struggling with addiction. They have these amazing open conversations so everyone can learn, collaborate, and be together on those pieces. But again, another YouTuber that shared their kind of goal and dream and found people. The last piece that I really enjoy, I imagine everyone is familiar with the bottom two pictures there, but YouTube not only promotes new ideas and new standings, but it is also a vault. So it's really cool to find Bing and Ella and Louie and James Brown and the Nicholas brothers and all these older entertainers on YouTube. So they're still enjoyed, still revered, and shared about with the younger generation as a result of YouTube. Because all you gotta do is look up the name. And what's really cool is all videos related to the time period start popping up. So the fun part about how YouTube works with algorithms is you can pick on some songs from that time era, and then you go down the internet rabbit hole and explore everybody that's in that kind of scenario, if you will. Let's see. I had some additional thoughts that I wanted to. Yeah. So the big piece that I wanted to bring together is the pie in the sky is great. I'd love to be Lindsay. I'd love to be Straight No Chaser. Who wouldn't, right? That's stardom. But I think more realistically is the access to people and the access to like-minded people is why if you have a passion, a vision, and something to share, that you should share it there. It is the place with 2.3 billion people where you are going to find the population you're looking for to collaborate, to share, to dream, to do, to teach, to listen, to explore. All of those pieces come together as a result of YouTube with this amazing platform. And that's kind of the realism piece. I go back to where Psychor started with Ryan and I just dinking around in the basement with our little videos, and then being able to collaborate with people in New York as a result. That is probably the best example of why this tool is amazing to get going on, is the ability to develop and make a community, and why I think if you have an interest to share it here. Let's see. Some of I think the last piece for why YouTube in particular, if anyone's familiar with Simon Sinek, it's really comes down to, he talks about sharing your why, which is what is the true essence of why you do something. And that has to be kind of the mission and vision behind what you want to share and what you want to do. And then you're going to have fun with it. Once you find that we want to promote quartets and singing, or this particular genre of song, or we want to help people make educational videos on not to be tone deaf, whatever you want to do, having that why and then having fun with it, and finding your people. Because we're also finding if you're not truly engaged, you're not having fun with what you're doing, then no one else is having fun. And what's kind of the point? They're not going to watch. But I don't think we need to be necessarily worried about, well, no one's going to find me funny. And that's hard to say, because there's, again, 2 billion people. Someone else is going to have the same sense of humor, or elaborate on the humor, or be able to sing, or collaborate on the song, or whatever, you name it. Those kind of pieces. So being able to have your why established, and then making some content and having a good time. Last but not least, I had a little bit on how to YouTube, essentially. And you have a wonderful screen here of all the social media platforms that you can think of. The best part is YouTube can be linked to all of these. accounts and things. It's kind of on the back end. It's not the most fun thing in the world. But the nice part is, if you post a video on YouTube, now that they all interconnect, you can schedule out content, which I highly recommend, meaning you could make 6 videos at once, and then you can schedule them to automatically upload across a month or 2, or however long you want as far as an interval. And then when that scheduled release actually goes out, it'll plug into all of your tied in social media accounts. So it kind of, as far as a marketing tool, it's 2 birds with 1 stone. Being able to just be like, and I just blasted my entire marketing campaign all at once as a result. Yeah, so it's been definitely interesting to kind of learn that, do that. And it can be a grind a little bit because social media requires a constant kind of engagement, but it's beyond worth it. It helps brand, it helps vision, it helps marketing, it helps you name it. So
Brad,
yeah.
there was a comment on the chat from Karen. She asked, what if you're just starting your YouTube channel and you don't have professional recording equipment and that kind of thing? It seems like with YouTube, the more traffic that you have, the better. I've seen some people that have posted videos and then they look back and go, why would I have ever posted that? But with their iPhones or with their smartphones, and it's a way just to start getting yourself out there. Do you agree with that? And then if it becomes highly successful for you, you could then discuss moving into different forms of equipment. But it seems like the equipment is secondary. Getting your feet wet is what needs to happen first.
And there's part of that that's true. I think it depends on what you're trying to do. And what I mean by that is having simple live engagements and having, for instance, you can do what's referred to as YouTube Live. So literally on your phone, like so, I can hit my channel and then it announces to all my subscribers that I'm currently live. Hey, I'm doing a show now, right? And it's just instant engagement with the entire community that you have subscribed. And that's great, that's cute, and that's wonderful for little things. For just, I'm updating on, hey, this is what we're doing next, or I'm open for the next hour because I'm in the mood to answer questions about applied behavior analysis, those pieces. And that's a way to get started. That gets the wheels turning, that gets people moving. We have found the longer we go, kind of increasing our quality a little bit has helped. But by no means, if anyone actually watches our first videos, would I'd say they're of great quality. Literally the applied behavior analysis day one I showed you has taken us 5 years to learn how to do. Our first set of videos are horrendous because we're learning how to light things and we're learning about sound and all of that. But the most important thing would be to just get started, dive in and start doing, because that's the only way you're going to learn how to do it.
Especially for our goals, which is to reach out. We have the beauty of professional videos already being done at regional contests, and we can share those on our YouTube channel. Somebody Greg asked about how do you handle copyright license. So Spirit of Spokane recently streamed our holiday show. We did not, it was a free live stream. We just like if we were performing it live, well, we were performing it live at the church, we also had a live audience. So we paid our ASCAP, BMI, and CSAC fees all just as we did for the live performance where there were butts in seats.
Yeah.
We didn't charge for the streaming. And where you're going to have some challenges with copyright, you just have to make sure that you have to follow your guidelines for Sweet Adelines, for BHS, and for the other copyright issues. And that's a challenging thing. But my understanding is if you're not charging for the event, that is,
I
and
do
if
that
it
when I'm
was
sitting
from a
outside.
live event, then you already paid your ASCAP fees. And I'm just saying ASCAP is a blanket for all three of the locations. Beverly, can you mute your microphone? You know, how many of us are involved with BHS or Sweet Adeline's choruses where during COVID we did a virtual video? Pretty much almost every chorus dipped their proverbial toe in the virtual chorus water. And how many have you watched of all the choruses? You know, at regional, they showed a couple of them, but that's just another way for us to support each other by subscribing and watching those videos. And the more we share and the more we subscribe, then the begat. It's just like Brad said, it's, you get people that, I actually, last year I did the virtual Straight No Chaser event with Jen Valerian, and we won the meet and greet, and they saw on my name, they said, "Hey, what is that? What does it say bass by your name?" And I said, "Well, we're in a cappella quartets." And they're like, "You're kidding." And so they literally asked the name of our quartets, and they went on to our Facebook page and liked our Facebook page, and so that's how you start connecting. When you do the hashtags and all of that, even on your YouTube video, send it off to these other places. I mean, Straight No Chaser is still small enough to care, but they're going to blow up any day.
They already have.
I mean, yes. I mean, and it's just fascinating to, but so go and subscribe to Straight No Chaser. And when you put comments in there, make sure you put your chorus side in there, because someone's going to say, "Well, who's that? They're also a cappella. I'm just learning about this." How that's possible was beyond me. But, so it's free marketing, and you just never know.
Yep. It's all about sharing and keeping the ball rolling. Let's see. Look, I'm actually looking at the comments now. At song lyrics and copyright stuff. Yeah, you definitely got to look into that. So for instance, my telehealth stew one is probably on the edge because it is initially a song from oh, I said the name earlier, but now yeah, thank you. But we used a background track that is close to the original. So essentially it's a spoof itself, and it was marketed as open source. So there's no licensing, and it's not actually Green Day playing. So there's no copyright there. And since we're close enough that we're kind of worried about it, we naturally were like, well, we're not going to monetize this one. But it increased viewership across all the videos that we made of our own original content that is monetized, because they would watch the telehealth stew one, and then they would be like, "Oh, that was really neat." And here comes the next one, because YouTube just keeps playing and playing and playing. So for making that one video, we got additional subscribers because it's content people are watching, and then they got exposed to the rest of the channel. So it was kind of, it was made to be a hook. It was a successful hook. And that was kind of the whole point. But definitely being aware of copyright and license issues. And YouTube will tell you.
Yeah,
I was talking about
when you upload a video, they do that background for you.
Yeah,
they do the background checks. I've uploaded several videos, and including the Spirit of Spokane, and they said, "Well, there's one copyright issue." I'm like, "That's interesting, because every single song we did was copyrighted, but okay."
Yeah.
And it just said, "You cannot monetize this without reaching out to," and it kind of does some of that for you, which is nice.
Yeah.
And then a lot of this is probably, we're jumping ahead as to, we're just wanting you to see the possibilities. What I uploaded earlier on the instructions on literally how to create your channel is where still a lot of us are still at. And uploading your first video, it was kind of adorable after we had the class in January. Karen from Song of Seattle, she's just like, I think I did it, but I don't want to make it public yet because I might have made it look bad. And she was just so adorable. I said, there's no pass or fail here. Just do it.
Yeah.
And
it's a go do scenario.
Yeah. And she's just, it really is fun. And it's just a fun way for us to connect. A cappella music is rising in popularity. You know, we're on the kind of on the cusp of another big boom in a cappella music. And I would love to see Sweet Adelines and BHS part of that. You know, we're no longer the old folks music. You know, we're cool again. Who knew? I don't think I ever qualified to be cool in my life. And so it's like, in the COVID situation, I think actually helped us in some ways in creating our educational opportunities. I mean, I know this region focused on hugely on education, and the opportunity to learn is out there, and they also are videos that anybody can just go to North by Northwest YouTube channel, and there's all these music educational videos, and that's wonderful. It's a wonderful way to teach people about our craft and just the benefits, the health benefits of music. So it's really an exciting way to put us out there for relatively little money.
Mm-hmm. I think the other important thing to really stress is you are all already a larger organization than what Ryan and I are kind of speaking to. We're relatively successful with just being in a special niche and small corner of the internet. You are singers, right? Who doesn't love a good song? So your body of people to share and collaborate with is instantly bigger. And then people that are interested in song, that general interest is larger. So being able to hit that watch time and the subscriber things would be, if promoted well with content driving and all that stuff, should be relatively easy to hit. Just if everyone shared 2 or 3 videos to each other's channels or collaborated in some capacity on a channel or something, you should be able to drive a pretty powerful platform.
What was the advantage for Sitecore once you got to the 100 subscribers and were able to customize your URL? Did you find that made it easier for people to find you?
Maybe a little bit. They primarily were using, because of the basis of our content, a lot of traffic was coming from Google searches. So people putting in key terms. So I would say what the big pieces are, and what continues to be, is each video has a description box. And that it's lame, but those are very important to fill out. And the reason being is that's where all the search engines drive to find content. So if they're blank, the searchability of that video is just by title, which in a sea of footage, it'll get lost. But if you have good descriptions of the songs and the people singing and all those pieces, it'll help with that. Yeah.
Does anyone else have any questions or comments? Quiet as this group's been in a while.
I'm apparently intimidating. I apologize.
No.
I just put the Harmony Kings YouTube URL in the comments, and you might go there to see kind of what they're doing. That started about 4 years ago. They have a whopping 57 users. Part of the reason that they only have 57 subscribers is because nobody sat there and added anything to their emails to give a link. Nobody, it just, so what they've grown is from their chapter and their friends. But imagine if everybody actually got around inviting people to look at the site. Harmony Kings is actually pretty close to having that 100 where they could get a customized, they could get a customized URL. It takes a little bit of work. It also takes an entire chapter to participate in it. It can't just be 2 people that are involved in YouTube, and it's got to be the entire chapter helping to share it and invite people to take a look at it and subscribe.
Exactly. And that's why we sort of are starting this campaign at the beginning of the year for us to first, let's get our YouTube channels up and going. The next step is going to be, you know, we can share videos from the North by Northwest for our choruses contest videos. There's still several up there that go back at least 3 years. That's an easy way to upload content immediately. I think people like seeing the more relaxed. Bring your phone out, and when you're doing your first live rehearsal where our emotions are raw but real, you know, don't be afraid to document that, and don't be afraid to show your vulnerability to the rest of the world, because we're all there. You know, we are all trying to navigate what our new normal looks like, you know, and put it out on Facebook and say, okay, we just did this thing. Check out our YouTube channel and please subscribe. You know, I mean, it takes seconds. I was shocked when Spirit of Spokane, we were streaming for the first live stream ever, our holiday show. And I'm like, is anybody going to log on? You know, and we had hired someone to help us with it. And then he's like, hey, you've got, you know, 99 people watching right now. We're like, what? You know, and by the end of it, 250 had gone back to start rewatching it. And we were gobsmacked. We're like,
no way.
Yeah, it's like, and he's like, and your average watch time, he goes, you have to understand, like you said, Brad, most people are on their phones. And it's sort of like dating. They're just swiping left or swiping right. And if something grabs their attention, they'll watch it. He's like, 90 seconds is kind of the average before they move on to the next video. Because you've got people at 4 minutes. He goes, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, and it wasn't the best quality, but the feedback that we got was like, oh God, just to hear the barbershop harmony was just, it was everything. And so don't be afraid to just, is it going to be the best video ever? No, you know, but I mean, look at Songbirds. I mean, for anyone that watched America's Got Talent and watched Songbirds, you know, story where she auditioned still full of cancer, and she recently passed, but it was amazing. And her initial videos were not the best, you know, but now it's documented. And I mean, our region has taken some serious hits lately of losing beloved members, and those videos are everything. I just watched a video this morning that had Jan on it, and I was just like, ooh, it's too soon. I don't know, you know, it's only been a week, but it's, you know, it was just, I'm grateful for those. And so we're also creating a historic time capsule. And, you know, none of us are getting any younger. And so to have that is maintained out there in the cloud somewhere for generations to come is vital to keep our craft going.
I think there's 2 things that came to mind from what you were talking about. And one is, including myself, but we've all grown up with the expectations around showmanship as it's presented on NBC and CBS and all the big broadcasting companies. And that's still true. But social media isn't dictated by some marketing director or some CEO up at the top of one of those channels. Social media is more intimate. So expressing your humility and your emotions in a current state of you're being nervous, being relatable is is the platform. It's what's expected. YouTube and all these media places are attractive because we're all sharing our human experience.
Yes.
So to deny that to some extent could kill the channel, or at least damage it, because people are looking for that level of engagement. They want to hear the amazing concerts and your kind of final results, but they're also going to love seeing you get there.
Yeah.
And see the work and the struggle, like a good old 80s montage of some kind.
Exactly.
They want to see that.
And it just gets so bigger and bigger and bigger, because then the young girl that's watching a video that is a Beyonce video where everybody has to be a certain size and, it's imperfect, and then trying to be that person. I mean, face it. I mean, many of us grew up with body issues or, other issues. And now we're watching these videos of these people that are human, just like us. And it's so refreshing and hope filled.
Yeah.
It's really changing everything. And, people, they say they want their 15 minutes of fame. We're all famous to somebody. Every single one of us is famous to somebody. And so by making this so, you really can't, I mean, being able to release your own CD, I almost said album, your own CD. Well, hell, no one even does CDs anymore, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, well, so Brad, there, Sharon Stockstead is a member of Helena Express Chorus, who last year opened for Foreigner. Come on.
What?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
They found us on our webpage.
Wow. See, y'all, I think, have an untapped potential with your passion, your why, your interest. I've got a separate mission, but yours is such more broad that, I mean, you have access to Foreigner and Straight No Chaser, and I'm like, I go to conferences. So just dive in, go do. And I think I was going over the comments again, and Beverly had one around how do we get members to participate in social media. And if I was going to put my behavior analyst hat on for 20 seconds, the biggest thing about social media is you got to take the effort out of it. So coming together and teaching, learning, and training on it is probably going to be your best bet. You got to get people familiar with the tool and fluent with the tool before they don't find it hard to use and therefore a roadblock and difficult, right? So getting them up to speed and taking that time to be like, hey, we really want to do this, and here's how. Take the effort out of figuring it out. Put together opportunities to be like, no, this is easy. Come check this out. Followed by have group goals around what you want to do with social media. You know what I mean? It holds the team accountable. We have this vision, and the way to get there is 100 subscribers by November. So how do we do that? Well, we all come together, and if we each share a link every other day and get 5 subscribers, then as a team, we kind of have that contingency for success and getting to do that. If you put those two pieces together, I think you'll be able to drive any one of your social media branches to get what you're looking for.
Absolutely. And yes, you can share from the regional videos and upload to your own channel. So, and if you have a problem with that, we can work with you on an individual level on how to do that. But yeah, anytime, and again, it's word of mouth. The other huge opportunity with, again, all these virtual videos that so many choruses have done, I've probably seen 6, and that's sad. I'm the marketing coordinator, but if I didn't know they existed, but by subscribing to all of our own channels, even if you don't have time at the moment, just find it, put it in your watch later YouTube batch. It's still going to help get us traffic and be connected.
And Greg, I think you're right. With age, fear does come with social media. Absolutely. I think it's important to think all of these apps and things are only getting better with their user interfaces. We're not having to enter code anymore as much. Things don't break nearly as often. If they do, half the time, if you reset whatever device, it corrects itself. It's in a very interesting age as far as usability. But the only thing is time and access to it. So, I mean, I'm only as fluent as I am with YouTube and all these social media platforms because I've invested the time to learn them. And so it's taking a step back and just really reading the screen, because at some point the symbol or the information you're looking for is there. It's not buried, it's not encoded, it's not in Chinese or Latin, right? It's in front of, unless you hit the wrong button, then it might be. But it is in front of you in some capacity. So just give yourself the time to learn the tool. I think
and
is probably the biggest.
absolutely promote other, like Karen, you just asked if you get interest through Meetup. All of those, you want to post as much as you can to invite the other social media platforms to put hashtag. And I am not well versed in the hashtags, as I'm just learning all of that myself. But the more that you incorporate other videos, or put it on your Facebook page and say, check out our YouTube video. Go to your YouTube video and say, and here's our Facebook page. The more that you have that stuff, and it's just it's a hidden URL. You're going to type it in there, and most of the time it's going to create the link for you. And so then all someone has to do is click on it, and then boom, they're on Facebook. And then our Facebook pages, get a boost. And it's just the new way of marketing. When before you had to go to conferences, and you'd bring out your business cards, and you'd leave business cards all over the place. These are just electronic business cards.
Yep.
With sound.
Can you put on your website, your course websites, can you put a link to YouTube and to Facebook on there also?
Yep. And then, like Spirit of Spokane, we have them linked to where if we post something on Facebook, it automatically updates on our website.
Perfect.
And so everything, yes, can just link back to each other, like Greg said. I mean, it's pretty, and I think we just started an Instagram, and that's reaching younger people, and
it's getting to the point where it's just reaching people.
Yeah.
I go back to that usability. I was able to just an example. I was able to teach my mom during COVID she's an artist. She's a potter, and I taught her using we used Google Chat for the video log, but I was able to teach her how to set up 2 different cameras. So she had one on her, and then I bought her an arm for her phone, and it would show what she was working on. So she was able to give lectures to people online, to kids that they weren't going to school. So she's like, well, here's a link to art classes. And so she was having kids do draw books and stuff and all those pieces, all just over the internet. And it was just, it's my mom's 70, and here she is teaching my niece and nephew in Portland Van Gogh and all these abstract art pieces. You know what I mean? And it's just, it's to the point where the usability is, it'll bring everybody together. So I think it's where people are.
And it's critical for right now. It's critical that we come together on positive ways.
Yep. TikTok. Psychor's we just made a TikTok account after being pestered. So we're new to it, and we're even making fun of ourselves on TikTok for being new to it, because the clips are cut short, or the sound's off, or you name it. We're doing something wrong. But yeah, you can tie all the media together. We've even shared TikTok videos to the YouTube, and the YouTube to the TikTok. It's all interchangeable.
So Brad, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. It was my pleasure. So I hope everyone found it informative and interesting, and maybe a little funny. but
Well, now we're all going to go to your channel and figure out how we become behavior analysts.
there you go. Yeah. Enjoy, ask questions, do all the things. So, all right.
So if you want to stay for a moment after Brad leaves us, if you have any last minute questions, I'm happy to ask them. If not, Brad, I will reach out to you later on or tomorrow. And thanks again, and give my best to Jana.
Will do. Thanks for having me. Nice
Take
to see
care.
everyone. Let's see, here we go.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. It's as strong as you update it. And that's why we are starting this process slow. It's just create your channel. Start there. Get your channel up, and then we're going to I've asked everyone, once they've got their channel created, to send it to me. I have a list going of our regions. I'm happy to include BHS stuff in there. So we can just encourage our choruses to subscribe to each other's, and then our chorus members to go and subscribe. You know, if you have one of your best buddies is in Pride of Portland chorus, then go subscribe to their channel and watch some of their videos. Or, you know, if you want to see the pictures of Helena Express opening for Foreigner, go subscribe. You know, it's just, it's an exciting time for us, and we can make it scary, but we can still make it exciting. I mean, change is hard. We're not getting, you know, it's hard to get people to change, but maybe we don't look at it as change. Maybe we look at it as growth. So any more questions or anything else? Greg, I think you put your email in there, but it might be back a ways. So can you just put your email in where I can find it?
I had to double to make sure I spelled it right. It's thebarber_shop@msn.com.
Excellent.
And that comes directly to me, and that's all barbershop related. I don't have anything else that comes into that.
Excellent.
I also posted a video that I'm working on just to give you some ideas of what you can do with some relatively simple tools. And it's in the comments. It just says something I'm working on if you're interested. I'm trying to put together a bit of a montage for a welcome to Evergreen, and totally decided that what I've done is exactly what we want, but it would give you an idea of what is capable of doing. And I'm holding it on my laptop, or excuse me, on my desktop with a really small program that I bought from Microsoft for about $22. So it's amazing what you can do for a small amount of money.
Yeah. Terrific. Thank you so much. Thanks for your input today.
Well, thank you for allowing me, and I won't come and bug you again unless I'm in.
All right, ladies. Anybody have anything else? How many choruses here are doing video competition? I don't know if Judy's is.
That's a no for acapella sensations.
Well, we'll see you on the virtual videos anyway, on the virtual video weekend, which is, everyone has that, right? It's not the same as, I'll get that.
I know we're doing a webcast party. Is that when they're showing all of the choruses?
Yes, and that's a different date than it was.
Right.
So, because we were going to be live May 12th through the 14th. And so now the virtual convention is the 19th through the 21st.
Yes, yeah,
So,
that's when we're doing it.
I think several choruses are kind of doing a watch party. That's another perfect opportunity to get your phone out, shoot some video of you watching your videos, and just make it fun and goofy and put it on your YouTube channel.
That's a great idea. Thank you.
Those are just opportunities that we were just coached. Spokane Chorus was just coached last weekend, and we shot video of our coaching, and I'm stalling now because Vicki Mayberry came and coached us, and when we signed up, we actually Sweet Adeline's plan in advance. Greg, just saying. So 2 years ago, we booked Vicki Mayberry to come coach us, getting ready for regional competition. And then boom, now we're going to international. And so she's like, had changed my whole coaching plan, so, and she's like, and this is odd because I'm taking my course to international. So, you never know, but it was just, so we just shot a quick video and put it on Facebook, and boom, it's gotten more views than most of the stuff we post. So you just never know.
Congratulations, by the way, on going to international. You're gonna have a ball.
I've never even actually been to international, so
I'll be in the audience.
I know, I can't wait. Maybe I'm going to recruit you to help me with my Region 13 marketing rah-rah party. Yeah, I read that in the fine print after I became the Region 13 marketing coordinator. I'm like, wait a minute, what's that? But anyway, so your region is here for you. Does anybody have any, does that say membership coordinator? Anyone have any membership questions?
I never noticed that before. Leave it to you to find that.
That's different connotation there.
So don't hesitate to reach out to us. I think I'm going to just kind of go by emails I would really love for us to all get a YouTube channel up by May. And so if you have questions, I'm going to send an email out and kind of put a challenge out there, and maybe I'll make some contest or something, but we can do this. We absolutely can do this. So
Karen posted a question on the chat. Can somebody answer that?
Actually, it should be in the new member packet that Sweet Adelines International sends out. Actually has a blanket waiver for any social media posts, because if you think about it, our regional contest videos are out there for the whole world to see. And so I believe that they put some language in there. If not, I know both my courses put it in our membership packet that it's, unless you expressly say, do not include me in videos, it's your job to, if the video camera comes out, to leave. We can't be
So if we take
responsible.
pictures of chorus and we put it on social media and we have a guest, they know we post on social media.
Right. And I think that's a good plan to put on any of your new member paperwork. It's really just going to be a line that just says, we post on social media, and your membership is, unless you instruct us otherwise. I know there's some members in other courses that have instructed, I want my face blurred or anything like that. So
You think they'd be proud to be a member of our choruses?
yeah, and everyone has reasons. Of course, I mean, Like, we have
Maybe they're
members of the Witness Protection Program?
Or maybe they're wanted by the law.
Yeah. I will, what I will do, Karen, for the links is the chat will save to my local computer and I'll pull all the links and put it into a single email. That way you don't have to have. And that's right. The domestic violence situations is a big reason why some people don't want to be posted. So we don't usually spring it on people that we're just going to video, we let people know. So if someone needs to come off the risers or whatever, that was one sort of odd advantage of masks. So
another one was not having to put on makeup.
yeah, exactly. So, okay. Well, thank you guys so much. It was a small group today, but I hope that you enjoyed the meeting, and I'll be checking in with you by email. So please watch for your emails.
Thanks, Cherie. This was really interesting and informative. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Sharon, thanks for coming.
Yep, thanks for putting this on. It's great.
Thanks so much.
Can you also send us the recording link?
Yes,
so
I
that
will absolutely
a couple
do that.
members can watch it.
Yeah, I did that the last time too. So, and
Great, thank
and
you.
I included the handout, and I think that the handout that I just emailed to you, I'll just also include it again, the 36 pager.
Thank you.
All right.
I won't
Thank you,
download
guys.
it twice.
All right. Have a great day. Enjoy
Thanks,
the rest of
Shirley.
your weekend.
I
Take
know.
care. Go Zags.
Go Zags, yay. Be sure and watch the game tonight.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.